about not just what our guys did today, but I think their preparation. You know, when you got a new staff, so many new faces, the way they handled game week, the way they've handled themselves really didn't shock me, but I didn't know until the day got here. I thought there were so many positives going into the game about the way we approached Thursday, Friday, Saturday that was dramatically different than what I've been told, just the preparation in the past. I just can't stress enough that there are so many games that get out of funk before they ever get started because kids don't handle the moment, and I thought they did that really, really well. Some highlights in the game, I thought, obviously the way we started offensively to take it down the field, have a couple conversions, and to have that turn into a touchdown was huge. Our defense obviously took a while to get settled down, but I thought did a nice job against a very, very good offense. But the point where I knew I had what I thought I had was at the end of the half. Defense came up with a stop, had us back down to the 5-yard line there. Wanted to see if we could get it off with the first down, and then I knew if we got to the 35, we'd have a shot with Hawker to make a 52-yard field goal or better, and that's how it panned out. Obviously, you got introduced to Hunter Henry there and made a couple nice catches, and then to convert those points at the end of the half, that's really, really big. I mean, I thought we were playing beyond the game there, setting up some things down the road. So got out of it relatively injury-free. Jay Will obviously had an issue there right before the half, but came back and played extremely well. That's kind of the definition of how I like to play games, is that second half to wear it down, get some turnovers. People just don't want to play football for 4 quarters a lot of the time. So I think our kids bought into it. I can't say enough about our coaches, the way they prepped them, and I think that was a very good football team there. I was really, going back to last spring, when I started watching them on film, I was very impressed. They know how to win games, and they were within a touchdown of beating Florida, obviously, a year ago, so it's a good football team, and I like the way they handled it. So we'll bounce back, now I'll get to normal game week and see where we can go.
Was there something on the right side that you guys saw? Because it seemed like a predominant amount of the runs were on the right.
I agree exactly what you're saying. Wasn't anything planned. I think in general we felt good about the matchups on that side, and then obviously as the game plan or as the game wore on, we had more and more success to that side until the big bounce or the cutback by Jay Will.
Coach, Jonathan Williams and Alex Collins really made a nice 1-2 punch.
Yeah, I've been very excited, and I'm telling you, we want to get 22 in there too. Nate Holmes is a very nice change up to those two guys, but I can't say enough about what you guys saw today was what I've been seeing all fall camp. Jay Will, nobody takes it more serious than him. He's a guy that is very, very gifted. He's going to flourish in our type of system. Alex obviously is a guy that can change the game in a single cut. But on the edges, there were some guys that were blocking very, very well. I'm telling you, you flow in that film, Travis Swanson is unbelievable on some of those pulls and the plays that he's making. I'm very excited about the dynamic of him keep coming along. I think today there was a couple guys that really grew that I'm glad it happened today. Hunter Henry's fumble, my guess is those won't happen very much. He just obviously got us, he's going to grow and I don't think it's fair to justify for a freshman to come in and play as many reps as he did either. He was dragging pretty good. We wore him out, and obviously we got to be smart about that.
Did you get a good look at Small's touchdown where he planted the guy?
Unbelievable. The one where he made a cutback in bounds. Like Kiro, I honestly thought going into today he might be our most productive player, and I think in a certain way he was. In critical downs, he made first downs. He made that touchdown all on willpower there. He is a very, very gifted player, and he fits perfectly in our system. I'm a big believer in everything happens for a reason. I'm so thankful he was injured a year ago because he is going to be an absolute stud for us in our offense.
A lot of 4-2-5 today, and it looked like there was maybe a late depth chart change.
Yeah, I think just their number one personnel grouping a year ago was 11, which is 1 tight end, 3 wideouts. Ran it almost 85% of the time, so we had prepared all during preparation to run all nickel against that personnel. And then when they went to 12, which is 2 tight ends, 1 back, 2 wide receivers, that's when we switched it into our base package. So
was that a late change with Alan Turner over TQ?
No, AT'd been doing. We just felt for this game, AT's game was a little bit better. TQ's still going to play a lot of football for us. He'd probably be better if we were playing ourselves. He just likes the physicality of the game, and we'll play against teams like that more.
Bret.
No, Hawk was going back in the last Friday. Just felt he wasn't right, so we rested him all this week, and going in today didn't know if he was going to go. And tremendously tough kid. After that third kickoff went out of the back of the end zone, I said, I hate to see you when you're healthy, because he is definitely booming the ball. And then one thing Charlie and I have had good fortune of when we were scoring a lot of points and doing a lot of kicking, you just can't ask those kickers to kick that many times, so that's when we pulled them.
You talk about responding to their touchdown, your touchdown, the one that was a 49-yard pass.
Yeah, and then I thought a couple great responses with that response in particular, and then the turnover responses. We turned the ball over with Hunters, and then 2 plays later we get the turnover. So we just talk to our kids all the time, no matter on defense, they always say, put the ball down, no matter what the situation is, got to respond. And then I know a critical play for us was after was that the first or second turnover when we had the big hit with the passing game, and making yards after or making points after turnovers is huge.
Brandon Allen. You showed us today. Could you have asked much more from the quarterback?
No, I thought he was tremendous. I just, I said this the other day, and I mean it. If you want to go to the quarterback store and find the demeanor and personality of what you want, he's got it. He's very, very calm. Coaches a lot of times will get volatile, and he just kind of handles the storm. Really hasn't shown me anything but complete composure. Very impressed with his quarterback skills that have nothing to do with throwing the football, if that makes sense. I mean, he's got that demeanor and personality that are I think what makes championship quarterbacks.
Coach, do you remember your first win at Wisconsin, and how does this compare to that?
Well, my first win in Wisconsin was on the road in Cleveland Brown Stadium. So to do it here at home, we'll work on our post game. I am a detailed guy. Probably some other people have other words for it, but I had not addressed post game celebration. They could have told me we went over and sang the fight song. I got to learn the fight song better. I got to love my office. I was going to break one out on them too, because we've done things in the past with big game celebrations, so we'll get that a little more choreographed.
Brett, your wife told me at halftime that you were a little superstitious about the long sleeves. Did the 97-degree Arkansas heat make you want to rethink that?
No, I had the red or the white, and I smelled the white. Figured it'd be a little more cooling effect. But yeah, it was, I think, a fun day for everybody involved, and hopefully the beginning of many more.
You talk about balance a lot, and that showed up today.
Yeah, would we have 280 or 90 running the football and 230 passing? I know this, when we really became a great team in the past, teams that I've been around, we've been over 200 running and throwing. You win a lot of games that way. You win a lot of games if you're balanced like that, and then you play good defense, you don't give up 3 big hits. Probably the greatest teaching lesson for us today was that first touchdown on the wheel route that, was one play where they gained how many ever yards of, a 40, 50-yard strike with one play. We won't win many games if you allow that to happen.
Going in, did you want to run?
Defensive improvement was, you said they started a little slow, what got better?
Though, I've always thought that with defense, you got to get hit in the head a couple times, you got to get knocked around, got to get used to making the calls, getting them lined up in a hurry. Again, that's a very good offense. I thought they had a nice plan coming in, keeping us off balance with some of the run and play action stuff. I just think defenses, a lot of times, everybody says the defense always has an advantage. I've never believed that, even as a defensive coordinator. I've always felt, if you're a good offense, you just line up and do what you do. You should be able to move the ball and do some things. Defense, I don't care what you say, defensive calls are made off of offensive personnel. Defensive personnel lines up by offensive personnel. The offense dictates the flow of the game. I don't care what type of offense you're running.
Did you ever have to get into the headset today and tell Shane to change something up, or
No.
Coach Ash or anything?
No, I called one really good play. I called the fullback belly that got knocked in the head for minus a month.
What's the report on Rohan?
Roll just it wasn't any strong. He hit knee on knee on that play, and I think a bruise result, but he was pretty good there. I think we just didn't want to put him back in there.
Was it the game plan when you went in to run the ball until you absolutely had to pass the ball, just to kind of send a
Well,
message?
that's not the way to say it. I think it's run until they can't let you run.
Yeah.
I think that Jim wanted to make a statement. I did say to him in the fourth quarter, I said, you can't throw it. I wasn't overly pleased with the 4th and 1 pass. I did say I should have made you run it. But I think as coaches, we're just getting a feel for one another too. I think there was so many critical teaching moments today that you guys never heard, thankfully, because I want my mother to hear them either. But they were great moments for us as coaches on the headsets.
Were you guys setting up that?
Nate Holmes running down Jonathan Williams to make that block.
Yeah, I think we got away with one there. I think his hand was a little bit on the back, and let him have a piece in my mind. Because that should have been called back. It was a great hustle, love him to death. We were trying to get him the ball there at the late. I think Nate's going to be a great guy, in several situations. But again, I really wanted to see him run the 4th quarter because he can change the game at that point when those other guys are worn down.
What did you think? Pick a couple more guys.
Did what?
The discipline.
Not happy. 2 were on me. We were running a formation where we're covering up the tight end because the tight end can pick his hand up and choose all he wants. But once he's covered, you can't. And those were 2 of those procedural penalties today. And I'll get that straight with my coaches. I think Mitch jumped one time. We had a face mask, but other than that, I was pretty happy with how they handled it. And you know what? We have a little thing in practice where if you have a penalty, you immediately come off the field. And we actually had to coach our guys that when you had a penalty today, not to run off because they would have started. They thought the process was status quo. So I don't know, what do we have 5 penalties, I think?
4.
4.
Coach, by running it like you did, though, you set up that long pass to Javante. You talk about what went into setting all that up.
Well, I think it is exactly what you said. There's so many people that think, if you run the ball, you can't be an effective passing game. But in my opinion, when you run the ball effectively, you make defenses show their support. So you understand if you got a one high, two high safety, you get so much run action. You can actually hear play action pass when our guys are firing out the ball and engaging the linebacker, those DBs. They hear run and they react to run, and then all of a sudden it's a ball going over your head. I think we could have went to that maybe in the second half, but we obviously want to keep our bag of tricks.
Two more. Coach, your thought on, you met 1 million Hog fans since you've gotten here. What did you think of that on game day?
I know it's going to be awesome. I know a lot of people make comments about it. I just get so engrossed with the game. I can't wait to hear what my wife and all my people, my friends say, because it sounded like a great environment. I can't really comment on what happened.
I think you won the physical part of the game.
Physicality, I think we won. I appreciate what Louisiana Lafayette coach was very complimentary at the end of the game. And the key for us, though, is we're the only team in the SEC that I think plays 8 straight games without a bye week. And our last game of an 8-week stretch is at Alabama, 2-time defending national champ. So for us to be where we want in 8 weeks, we need to get better every week. We had a physical game today, but tonight has to be recovery. Sunday we'll take it easy on them. Monday we'll give them a day off, and Tuesday we'll get back to work. So it's a process that we're going through with these guys.
Great, thank you, Coach.